Welcome to the Command Line Interface Glance Lab. My name is Gonzalo de la Torre, and I will be your trainer. In this lab, we will be covering how to execute some commands from Glance in our terminal using the Command Line Interface. Table of contents. During this lab, we will be covering the following topics: available images, getting images, create an image deactivate, reactivate an image, updating an image, tags, image delete, the summary of Glance commands, and the sources. Prerequisites. Before taking this lab, you must have taken the Introduction to Cloud Computing lab, as well as the Horizon dashboard for Glance as an admin and as a user. Introduction. The Glance project provides a service where you can upload and discover data assets that are meant to be used with other services. This currently includes images and metadata definitions. Glance image services include discovering, registering, and retrieving virtual machine images. Let us see how we can proceed with performing these tasks. First, you will need to access your OpenStack environment and source your credentials as admin user and admin tenant. In your terminal, type the following command: ssh-i to indicate where your private key is, followed by the default user to your instance, @ and then the IP where your OpenStack deployment is currently landing. We will receive a message to see if we want to continue the connection. We'll type yes to confirm. It will tell us that the host has been permanently added to our list of known hosts, and there we have accessed our OpenStack environment. Next, let's change the directory to the DevStack folder by typing cd space and then DevStack. Now that we have accessed our DevStack folder, we need to source our credentials by typing source space openrc space admin user, then space and the name of our tenant, which is also admin. Let's press enter, and now we have sourced our credentials. Now that you're in the OpenStack environment, we can proceed with using the Glance command line interface. Glance is the reference implementation of the OpenStack Images API. As such, Glance fully implements versions 1 and 2 of the Images API. Currently, Nova uses the Images v1 API, but work in progress to convert Nova and other OpenStack services that consume images to using the Images v2 API. Once that occurs, it will be possible to deploy OpenStack without deploying the Images v1 API. At that point, the Images v1 API will be deprecated, following the standard OpenStack deprecation policy. The Glance command line utility interacts with OpenStack Images service. Available images. To view the existing images, you can use the command glance space image-list. You will now see a list of images that are already present in a tabular form with the attributes of the image name and the image ID. Running this command displays the list of images with their names and unique ID. If you run this same command using a version 1 image API, you can use glance space --os -image -api -version space and then specify the version of the API that you want to use. In this case, we'll use 1 space image-list. As you can see in the version 1 API, you can see some extra attributes about the image, like this format, container format, size, and status. Getting images. There are many images that you can use, for instance, like CentOS, Zeros, Ubuntu, Debian, etc. Each of these have their own resource from which you can download them. For example, to view the current cloud images for Ubuntu, you could browse for the Cloud Ubuntu images online. Let us download a few Ubuntu images. First, we create a directory to save these downloaded images on our instance. To do so, type make directory, which is going to be mkdir space, and then we will state the name of our folder, which will be downloaded_images. Now that we have created our directory, you need to access it by typing cd space and then the name of our directory, which is downloaded_images. Now, to get the image into the directory, we can use the command wget space and then the URL for the image. This is what you will see on your screen. It will start a download process, and after it finishes, it will show the file in the folder. Create an image. Let us now use this downloaded image to create a new glance image. The following command shows you how to create a glance image using version 2 of the API. We're going to type on our terminal glance space --os -image -api -version, and then the version of the API that we would like to use, which in this case will be the second version of the API. Next, we're going to use the image create subcommand. In this subcommand, we can use different properties, such as protected. In this case, we'll select false, the name that we want to use for the image, the minimum disk in gigabytes, which in this case is going to be 2, the visibility. In this case, we will select private. That way, only us can have access to this particular image. The tags, which I'm just gonna set Ubuntu. The disk format of the image, which is QCOW2, and we get the information from the website where we downloaded this particular image. The minimum RAM that is needed for an instance to run this particular image, which is about 1 megabyte. Container format is going to be bare according to the documentation. Finally, we must define where the cloud image has been stored, which in our case has been stored in the desktop directory, downloaded_images directory, and the name of the file. Additionally, we can activate the --progress parameter to show us the progress whenever the cloud image is uploaded into Glance. As you can see, we have set many of the parameters of this image, like protected, name, visibility, tags, disk format, minimum RAM, container format, file, and progress. Let us look at one more way of creating an image with version 1 image API and using a location URL. Here you can find that you can directly specify the location parameter, which is a URL from which the image can be directly downloaded. If you take a look at the display table, you can see that there is a property column and a value column. The properties are all optional arguments that you can modify or set for the image that you created. This parameter was not available when you used the same command with image version 1 API. To perform this action, you can use the command glance -os -image -api -version 1, then image create subcommand, and then the parameters name indicating the name that you want to use for this particular image, the disk format, which is QCOW2, the container format, which is bare. The parameter is public, which in this case we will use false. And finally, the location, which is going to be the URL of the image. To see optional parameters, you can always use the command glance space help space image-create. If you scroll up, you'll be able to see additional parameters that can be used with image create. As you can see, we have the tags, version, protected, kernel ID, etc. You can also see the parameters for glance command by typing glance space and then just pressing enter. This command will give you an error, but it will give you also a list of parameters that you can use with the glance command. Now that you have created two glance images using two different methods, let us take a look at our list of images. To do so, you can use the command glance space image-list. Now that we have uploaded images, if you want to download one of the images on your instance so that you can reuse them, you could use the command glance image download followed by the ID of the image that you want to download, and afterwards indicate the name of the file where you want this to be saved. Now let's check our directory. And we can see over here our ceros.ami image that has been downloaded to our instance. Image deactivate. You can deactivate an image by using the command glance space image-deactivate and then the image ID. To check the status of this image and verify that it has been deactivated, you can use the command glance space image-show followed by the image ID. This command gives a detailed description of the image that you have referenced. As you can see in the screen, the status now is set to deactivated. Reactivate image. Now that you have deactivated this image, if you wish to reactivate it, you could use the command glance space image-reactivate followed by the image ID. Updating an image. You can update any of the attributes of the image. First of all, let's utilize glance image list to obtain a list of images. For example, here we're going to change the name from Ubuntu-14-04 to XYZ. To do so, we use glance image-update, then followed by the ID of the image, and then the parameter --name to indicate the new name that we want to assign to this particular image. You can see that the image name has been changed. Likewise, you can change other attributes too. Tags. You can also add tags as metadata to the images that you create. To add them, you can use the command glance space image-tag-update space the image ID space and the tag that you would like to add. You can also delete the tag that you have created using the command glance space image-tag-delete space the image ID space and the tag you previously assigned to that particular image. By pressing enter, you have deleted that tag. Image delete. Let's start by getting a list of images that we currently have on Glance. You can delete the image you created by using the command glance space image delete followed by the image ID. By typing enter, we have deleted this particular image. We can validate this by typing glance space image list. You will now see that your image has been deleted. Summary. In this tutorial, we have covered how to perform some operations using two versions of the API and how to use the glance command line interface to list available images, download and upload images, create images, delete images, deactivate and reactivate images, update an image, and add text to an image. Summary of commands. Some of the commands that we use are glance-os-image-api-version and the version of your API. And as an example, we can use the subcommand image list. We also use glance image create, glance image deactivate, glance image show to show some details of a particular image, glance image reactivate, glance image update, and glance image delete. Follow up. After this lab, you should also take a look at the command line interface Nova Lab, command line interface Neutron Lab, command line interface Cinder Lab, and command line interface Swift Lab. Some of the information that we covered during this lab can be found on this following list of URLs.